All right, today we're discussing the institutional, residual, and developmental views of social welfare services and systems. Um, First, explaining the difference between the three. Institutional, it's available for everyone within the society. People do not have to phase in or phase out due to the income or other restrictions. It can be more expensive to the taxpayers, and it gives government more control than a lot of people that in America that want to live in a government would like. Societies in history have typically created organizations and have relied on the collective action and the pooling of resources, which is more of the institutional, because this is seen as more of a right. This is your human right. You're a citizen of our country. You deserve these rights between things like schools and libraries. These are institutional welfare services. Um, Residual or food stamps and emergency housing. They're the last resort. They're safety net. They're limited and ends when assistance can be found elsewhere, or you have gotten a higher income or things like that. They're doing a residual view of welfare services. It relies on help from families and churches and the community, and the residual services are seen as more of a charity. Developmental combines economic and social policies to better the social welfare. It can be a long process, and it's more of a macro focus. It seeks cooperation between social and economic policies and organizations by developing social interventions that are economically friendly. It's family-centered and community-based. I always felt that community help over government help was better, because I felt that people within a community can better judge how to fix issues they experience, because they know the community better. Though I wish this was a national viewpoint, a part of our culture, as opposed to something that we have to debate on. This is why the developmental approach caught my attention. As I've gotten older, I do believe that these are rights as your citizens, that you do. Everybody in this country, that if you're a citizen of this country, that you deserve to have access to everything that everybody else in the country does. Developmental, though, it implores the work of the individuals within the society to empower each other with the guidance of a framework of togetherness from the government, which eventually leads to, hopefully, a positive shift in how welfare is viewed, so that it can be seen as more of a right than a charity. People have said, facilitating change, use of strengths, empowerment, self-determination, commitment to equality, and social justice is vital in the development of social welfare and developmental viewpoints. This goes along with a strengths-based approach, and it covers many of the NSAW Code of Ethics, promoting well-being of the community as a whole in a multifaceted development process. In the late 90s, South Africa began to adopt the developmental approach to welfare, and a lot of research has gone into the effectiveness of it, and what areas need improvement and focusing. A commitment to change in the social environment is probably the most difficult aspect to overcome in America, since we value independence so much. But I think using a strength and resiliency-based approach would allow those who resist the ideas of welfare to move into a more educational role and help empower others within their society. Though we would have to move away from the pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of viewpoint, which can, in the resilience viewpoint, can make someone feel less empowered than they should, and might have resistance to change. Because we need to foster a community-based self-sufficiency, where the citizens become self-sufficient through help of the community, and then further on down the line can do it the same for others. I do like the idea of individualized support, and I do believe in following the perspective that there should be culturally appropriate approaches, but perhaps transitioning into this developmental approach will help our nation see what we have more in common than we're led to believe.